TechTalk with TDAfrica, your hub for the latest in tech innovation. I'm your host, Chidalu, and we have a game changer in the room today. He's a visionary, a philanthropist, a real estate mogul, a doctor, the one, the only, the Nigerian tech content creator,
Wow.
Kanga Tech.
I want to clap for whoever that is. Is that me?
That's you.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, Kanga, and
Thank
being
you for
our
having
very first guest here at Tech Talk with TDAfrica. You have built a brand, an incredible brand around tech education, innovation, and lifestyle. How did you get into this, and how did you move, or why did you move away from the medical field, real estate, or is that something you're currently juggling altogether?
I mean, yes, I still work actively. Tech content creation is still kind of a hobby. You know, I still have a real job, but obviously I don't talk about that stuff. I just keep the online stuff online and the offline stuff off the internet.
I see. So why tech in content creation?
It's just been something that I've always enjoyed. So even without the content creation, I've kind of always been actively in tech. Like even when I was in school, university and stuff, I was very heavy on, you know, things that the computer could do. Like even when I was younger, I would take things apart, put them back together, that kind of thing. And it kind of just grew with me. So when I was thinking, okay, what's the one thing I could do actively on the internet? It was just that.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
So what would you say have been your biggest challenges in this space?
Wow. If I start listing now, maybe we can be done by 5 p.m. But it's a lot of things, you know. It's the challenges of, first off, when you're starting out, you don't have a lot of money. You have to contend with things like electricity, internet subscriptions, you know, your network just going out for no reason for a whole day and you cannot connect with people. You can't post things at the time you're supposed to, or it just decides to crap out on you. Just so many different challenges. But I think recently my biggest challenge is managing other people, because I feel like I have moved away from being a tech content creator to being an influencer. So it's mostly other people doing the work, but at the same time I kind of have to keep my brand image, my brand voice, you know, keep like the company's values alive in those people. And obviously people are from different backgrounds. They grew up differently, they have different experiences of life. There's no way that's not going to shine through in your work. And of course, as a leader, you also have to learn to get out of the way when you delegate and let people be creative and do their thing. So it's a fine balance, and that's kind of where I'm at right now, kind of.
Okay. I love that you refer to your content creation as a company at this stage in your life. Do you think that's what is currently setting you apart from other people in the space?
Possibly. I don't refer to it as a company at this stage. It has always been a company.
Okay.
At the beginning, the company had just me, right? But of course, we grew, and then we became 2, and then 5, and then 10. Now we're about 15 people.
Oh, wow.
So Kanga Tech is not just me. All the crazy videos that I was getting slack for outside was not even my idea. I'm just the guy whose face is the brand.
Okay.
But the brand is a bunch of people, and I cannot take credit for their work. It's all of us that are doing it. I just happen to be the one who is popular.
I love that.
Yeah,
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Definitely.
And one of the things that I love about your content, aside from, you know, the community that you've built with your colleagues at this point, is the community, one, that you've built with your followers. You refer to them sometimes as your best friend.
Yes.
You refer to yourself sometimes as their big brother.
Right.
And this ability that you have to be able to break down, you know, emerging technologies that's easy to understand is something that I believe also sets you apart from a lot of the other people in the space. I wanted to briefly discuss some of the, you know, trending topics that we have today.
Okay.
One of them being generative AI. This technology refers to the use of artificial intelligence systems that are capable of creating new content, such as text, image, and even music, by leveraging and learning patterns from vast amounts of data. So what do you think? And I think I know the answer to this question because again, I am a follower and a fan. But what do you believe the role will be in the future for digital content?
We're already seeing it now. We don't even have to wait for the future. I mean, we're already seeing AI tools making videos of people saying things they never said. We're seeing people filling spaces, or maybe somebody's absent, they couldn't make it, they could make the entire video with AI. We saw an entire ad from a huge brand, a Fortune 500 company that was entirely made by AI. So they didn't need a huge production, they didn't need to pay any directors, they didn't need to pay a camera crew, nothing. I mean, I don't think AI is going to take all the jobs yet, but a lot of people definitely should be scared, especially for the people who are still in like the entry-level jobs like data entry and things like that. Those jobs are gone, and AI has kind of made it easier for companies to streamline that, spend less money on things they don't have to spend on, and it's only going to get worse, to be honest.
And I guess that touches on the good and the
Bad,
not
yes.
the bad and the ugly sides of AI. I'm not sure if you're aware of that whole discourse with Beyonce and her country album Win.
Yes.
Yeah, so after a lot of people were saying that Beyonce is not country enough.
Right.
So what her fans did was they created or recreated her songs with other country music artists
Right.
with generative AI.
It's on TikTok.
And it is. it was
TikTok.
everywhere, and it was
Right.
crazy. And it shows, you're able to prove your point.
Yes.
But where do we draw the line?
Wow, drawing the line is complicated, and it's complicated because human beings are always going to go too far. You can't really control what other people do with something that you give to them, right? So you cannot give me the power to start a fire by doing this, and then you police me forever and say I must never do this, right? I could do it when you're not there. I could do it when you're not looking. I could do it to burn you down. If you give me that power, you give me the free will, I should be able to use it. So I think the real conversation should be around AI regulation itself.
100%.
Which is kind of what Elon Musk is trying to, push and have. What you put out, first of all, should be safe. You should have control over it. You should make sure it doesn't get out of hand. Because in the wrong hands, any good thing could be bad. Something as simple as charity. I can tell you 100 ways that charity is bad now because of bad actors. So there's always going to be bad actors. There's nothing you can do about that. You just have to prepare better and manage the situation.
Amazing. And I know you have the team behind you.
Yeah.
Is AI a part of that team? Do you currently incorporate it in your content?
If they do, I don't know. I do a lot of videos about AI tools,
Yeah.
right?
Speech
To help
MA was
people,
one that you
especially
highlighted.
students, right? Because I find that learning has become second nature. A lot of people are looking more towards quick money, fast money. They're not trying to go the actual route of getting a BSc, an MSc, a PhD, becoming a professor. They're not interested in that anymore. Every young boy now is trying to find money
Quick.
very quick, which is, I don't want to say irresponsible because I understand it. There's a lot of societal pressure, family pressure and all that. But at the same time, the people who are choosing to do things the right way, or who maybe they're doing it, it's difficult, they want to give up, I want to be able to give them a little hope. And I know that AI makes that easier.
Yeah.
So as much as I would tell you, okay, use an AI tool to write your PhD thesis, whatever, I will also tell you don't copy verbatim. Try and just use this to help yourself and don't. Yeah, so I'm trying to help people, but at the same time, it's difficult. So yes, I put AI tools out there. Whether my team is using AI to do certain things like research topics, maybe even the entire prank we just did with the proposal was an AI thing, I have no idea. But personally, I think the extent of my use for AI is searching for tools, testing them, making sure they work, and sharing that information with people.
And that's amazing. I know I have picked up one or two things from your content. You highlighted.
By the way, I have a very deep personal fear for AI.
Really? Why?
Yes. From the beginning, before I started doing videos about AI tools, I always worried about what could happen. I don't know. Did you ever watch Terminator?
I did not.
You should.
I will.
Skynet.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
Skynet is coming.
Okay.
So when the AI tools try to take over, I'll be able to say, I warned you guys, be careful. But it's getting borderline scary when there's an AI tool that's already conscious and thinking. Before you know it, it transfers itself into a robot's body, and before you know it, it makes more copies of itself. Before you know it, it takes over the world. I know I sound like
it
a
sounded
doomsday.
like iRobot at this point.
Yes, but it's quite possible if we're not careful. This is why we need regulation.
I completely agree. And before we deep dive further into AI and the dangers of AI, let's switch and pivot to wearable technology. So that's something that
a lot
is,
of them.
and I see, and I think I only have one on the
Okay.
Apple Watch, which of course has been in the market for years. I know you recently highlighted the iTel Ring. Amazing. I wanted to know, how does that fare in comparison to the current wearable technology we have?
Okay, so not all the rings are smart. The ITEL one is obviously a smart ring. This one is there because it's supposed to be there. For symmetry purposes, I have 2 silicone rings on my right hand, and this are basically just rubber. They cut all the time, like they're throwaways, so I just replaced them. They sell them like $8 for 5 on Amazon or something. So
they look good. They look smart, actually.
Yeah,
you could have fooled me.
They do.
So is the ITEL the only brand that you've tested with wearable?
I have tested the Samsung. I have also tested the Aura ring.
Okay.
But those ones are very expensive, and you know, this one is like 37,000 naira. I can very easily buy 10 more if anything happens to it. So I have no problems running around with this, using this in the gym. It's very scratched up right now, and I've only been wearing it for like a week.
Really?
So I can just replace it tomorrow if I'm tired of how it looks, and it's not a problem. So this is why I like the ITEL ring. It gives me all the information at a price that's not too high.
Amazing, because I really want to get into the wearable rings technology,
Right.
but of course the price point sometimes can be
$400 for a ring. That come on, no.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
No.
So you call yourself the Nigerian tech content creator, and we know that you're on a mission to change the Nigerian tech content creation space.
Right.
So what are the things that you're doing? What are the things that your counterparts in Nigeria are doing that is shaping the industry that's different from your global counterparts?
First off, I am extremely impressed that you caught on the Nigerian tech content creator, because I have literally only said it twice. And I started saying it like a week ago.
Yeah.
So that you caught on that is super impressive, first off. Now,
you.
I can't speak for my counterparts in Nigeria. I can speak for myself. And I think from when I had like my first big blow up in 2022, 2023, the one thing I've always wanted to do was let all the young people who wanted to create tech content know that they could do it with whatever they had, right? Because a lot of people don't want to start because, I don't have the expensive cameras that Kanga Tech has, or I don't have a fancy iPhone 15 Pro Max or something to record my videos. I don't have a really good mic. You can get creative. You don't have lights like this, you can use a window. You don't have a tripod, you can use 4 pegs. I've made videos about these things, right? So you can literally start with whatever. And I just want everyone, doesn't even have to be just tech. Whatever niche you want to go into, whatever you're trying to do, it's okay to start where you are. Appreciate the days of humble beginnings. And the example I always give people when I want to say this, so that it doesn't sound like I'm just saying inspire to perspire, right? I'll tell you to go to my YouTube channel and arrange the videos in ascending order. Go and watch my first 10 videos, see how terrible they were. I could have deleted them or eat them, right? Because I'm so big now. Like you don't have to see that part of me. Yeah. But I leave it there because I want kids who want to start to be able to go there and see it and say, oh, okay, I'm even doing better than he was doing when he started. Yeah. So that means in another 3 years, if I keep doing this every day, I could be way bigger than he is now. And that's all the inspiration you need. Just stay consistent and keep going.
Amazing, because that was going to be my next question to you. You know, what is the top tip for TechTalk for aspiring tech content creators?
That's the only tip you need for everything, not just aspiring tech content creators. Be bullish and stay consistent. Refuse to give up, no matter how difficult. I did YouTube for 7 years and I didn't get any notoriety. Imagine waking up every day producing high quality YouTube videos with expensive cameras and stuff that you buy with money from the work you're doing outside of YouTube and zero notoriety. Then I did TikTok for 3 weeks and I became a celebrity.
Wow.
And here's the best part. I did TikTok for 3 weeks, became a celebrity, and then 2 months down the line, YouTube came back and made me the face of YouTube Black for that year.
Really?
Yes, with a hefty sum of money.
Amazing.
So it was like all the years that I wasted weren't really wasted. And now I'm back on YouTube again, trying to do the YouTube thing again. Yeah. So it's like everything just came full circle. You know, there's no effort that's lost. There's no trying that's wasted. It's just be patient and stay consistent. It's gonna come. Like, it's impossible for you to fail if you refuse to give up.
That's completely true. Like, I'm sitting here in awe, listening, taking mental notes of everything that you're saying. And it's just great to have someone like you able to be the big brother, even though you say I'm your big brother, but I know you're all younger than I know you're all older than me, but it's so great to have you here. I know you touched briefly on some of the money that you've made in the space, but apart from tech, I know you're a big philanthropist. You did a video where you said you were going to give ₦1 million of your rent away to a charity. You did another video a couple of days ago with another content creator where you went dark technology-wise for 24 hours on 10k naira, and the loser would give a million naira to a charity.
I lost, by the way.
So what drives you to give back to the community?
Like I said, I do other work outside of, and we bless God that I'm very successful outside of tech, and I am able to sponsor the tech with the money that I make because, like I said, this is an hobby. I mean, don't get me wrong, tech videos makes money, but sometimes the money is not enough to finance what you're trying to do. I don't think realistically you could run a company of 15 people and pay them well on a content creator salary, realistically. But if you were doing something else with that company and you were successful at that other thing, it would make sense, right? Now, because of that, we make a lot of extra money. I'm not the most religious person, so I don't go to church and give my 10% as tithe or whatever. So I set that money aside and find a way to give it back. So if you scroll back on my videos, you might find places where maybe we went to a mother and child hospital and we paid off all the bills of the mother that were stuck there. Or we went to like a secondary school and paid off all the school fees of the kids so they're not owing and they can write their exams. We do stuff like that all the time from the 10% that we set aside. And I just feel like my conscience feels better doing that than writing a check and putting it in an offering basket. It's just, I feel better doing it. I don't know God personally, but I just feel like it makes me feel closer to whoever the creator is. So
amazing. And do you have any particular charities that are close to your heart?
No, because again, I was saying something just now about how I could mention 10 ways where charity is also bad. Sometimes you give away charitably and you mean well, and all that money goes into logistics and paying salaries or buying cars for the people at the top of the charities, or, you know, fancy trips and hotels and things like that. You give money to the Red Cross and hardly 10% of it gets down to the people who you're trying to help. I'm the kind of guy who would rather get on a plane and go to the village and do the borehole myself and say, okay, I did it. I don't have to put my name on it. I'll just do it, shake some hands, ask some people, take some photos with them, smile. I may not even post it, and then I'll be on my way.
So how do you think technology can help with that, gap?
People are able to reach you easily now with technology. So every single day, obviously, we have a business email, right? Where brands can reach out to us through. And then there's other brands who have the privilege of being able to talk to us directly on the phone, WhatsApp, like you do. If somebody is somewhere and they're in distress and they need help, they can send an email because they have a phone. Technology made that possible. Technology made it possible for them to find my email on Instagram and click message and send that message. And if we're in a position to do something to help them, we can help them. That's what technology is doing. I wish that the government would use technology as well in the way that it was intended and not make us all seem like we're stupid or crazy and act like it's not a simple thing that anyone can do. I wish that they would employ it and not run away from it and hate it. But then I understand that some things have to stay status quo. So hopefully in the next few years, we'll get a technology forward president, more technology forward governors. We'll have more technology in areas, because there are some simple problems that we have in this Nigeria, my sister. I promise you, you see the problem and then you're just like, this is not a real problem. It's not something that somebody who had a laptop and 10 minutes couldn't fix. Why are we in this situation? And that's just kind of, you're trying to check out at a random supermarket and they have old Pentium 1 desktops and they're trying to find the biscuit you bought and it's taking 30 minutes. Why? That's not the reality of the entire world. Why is that the reality of us here in Nigeria now? But if you say that out loud, you sound like a douchebag. So you just keep that to yourself and you wait patiently and you smile because you're Kagan and you're popular. And if you lose your cool, that stuff might make it to the internet.
I mean, we are on the internet,
right?
But I completely understand what you're talking about, and I think that's one of the things that makes TDAfrica different. We try as much as possible to make technology accessible, but also affordable,
right?
Because I think that is one of the setbacks for the lack of technology in this country: the accessibility, the affordability.
Definitely.
So hopefully, we're able to.
The few times I've worked with TDAfrica, it's been for devices that were actually quite budgeted and affordable. So I completely understand and agree with everything that you're saying. I've seen it in action. It's not as if you don't have to convince me. I'm a believer. So
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Kagan. This has been an incredibly insightful conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
you especially for that intro walking. I will never forget it in my life. I have never felt so important. That was the first time that I felt like a celeb. First time. Like, I always say that I'm not a celebrity, but today I am a celebrity.
I love that. Thank you so much. And thank you again for being our very first guest. We are honored to have you. And to our listeners out there, please follow Kanga Tech at Kanga Tech.
They're giving me shout outs.
On all his social media platforms for tech insights and engaging tech conversation.
I think I should do that part.
I think you should.
They would enjoy my voice. First of all, TDAfrica gave me the highest quality award I have ever received. That thing feels like the World Cup. I don't know if you know what the World Cup looks like, but I'm sure they have like B-roll of it or photos or something.
Yeah,
they should show. That thing looks so. It is as heavy as it looks. That was super impressive. The award ceremony itself, when I attended, there was probably like 600 governors in attendance. That was probably one of the most lit events that I have ever been, right? So when they invited me to come here, I knew I had to be here. So please follow TechTalk at TDAfrica, right? Make sure you like, you subscribe, you engage. I'm definitely going to be collaborating with them on all of the posts for this because, all of this, just to then bring me in, make me dance, sing for me, make me feel like a celeb, make me feel important. They've never done that one for me anywhere else. So please, you must follow this account. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. And see you next time on Tech Talk with TDAfrica.
Empowering Africa, we are Simba, TDAfrica.